Assalamu alaikum students. In the previous lectures, we already discussed two case studies. The first case study was about to count the elements or objects with the name of counter, and the second case study was a class manager assistant, and the system state variable was set variables. In this lecture, we will discuss another case study with the name of orders in stock, and in this case study we would use different system state variables which include partial function as state variables, bags, and sets as system state variables. Therefore, in this lecture we will discuss a case study, orders in stock, and this system will be designed or specified using different type of state variables including partial functions, bags, and sets as system state variables. And we will also introduce a free type definition to record or model the different error reports and different OK reports or response of the system. This system is basically is designed to invoice the orders and to change the state of the orders from pending to invoiced, and order must be in stock. Therefore, whatever we make an order, it must be in our stock. And a user may wish to order several type of product at once, and this should be discussed with the customer. Here we assume that the customer decides to allow orders of one or more products for extra flexibility, but empty orders are not allowed. Since stock is defined as a bag of products, it is convenient to define an order as a bag of product too, whereas the stock may be completely empty and an order must consist of one or more products. In order to specify the system orders in stock, we have two basic types. The first type is set order ID, and second basic type is product, which is a set of products in stock. Whenever we say that order ID is a basic type, it stands for set of all possible order IDs. And whenever we say that product as a basic type, it means that set of all possible products. Now we can extend basic type product to another type order. Basically, what we are doing here is actually making another type from the products. So order is another data type which is basically constructed through the bag of products. So in this way we make another type for system orders in stock. Now we have another free type other than these three types which represent order state, because there are only two states, pending and invoiced. Therefore, we defined another basic type by using free type definition, and this type has two values, pending and invoiced. By using the introduced types, we can make a schema, or we can declare a variable stock, uh, and stock, you can see that, is a bag variable declared on back of products. Students, in the previous slide we have already introduced a system state variable stock by using schema stock. Now we are going to introduce two more system state variable by using schema order invoices. The first system state variable is orders, and this system state variable is a partial function variable. Therefore, it is declared on a set of all possible partial functions from order ID to order. So order ID is a basic type for this system, and order is another extended type which is already defined in the previous slide. So orders is a partial function, and this variable would work as a system state variable. Second system state variable is order status, which will be used to represent the status of the order, and this state variable is also a partial function which is declared on set of all possible partial functions from basic type order ID to free type order state. And there is another invariant property which is written in the lower part of the schema in the form of predicate, that domain of orders must be equal to the domain of order status. Mean to say that the whatever we have made orders, uh, its order ID must be the same as the order ID of order status. Students, we have introduced a basic type order ID. Order ID is basically a unique order identifier, and as I said that it must be unique. Therefore, we could decide that new identifier must never have been used previously, or that they just need to be unique at any given time. The state specification so far assumes the former, which is easiest. Students, we have introduced three system state variables. The first system state variable was introduced in schema stock, and the stock system state variable is a bag variable. And then we introduced another schema order invoices which contain two system state variables, orders and order status, and both of these two state variables are partial functions. And by merging these two schemas, we have now three system state variables which can be uh, written in a system state schema with the name of state. So the name of the system state schema is state. However, you can use any suitable name to represent the system for system state schema. So by writing the schema name stock, you are actually calling the state variable stock, and writing the name of uh, schema order invoices, you are actually using these two state variables. And now there is fourth state variable new IDs, and its type is a power set of order ID, because new IDs is a set of new IDs. So uh, now in a state schema we have four state variables. The first is a stock variable, the second is orders, third is order status, and fourth one is a order status. Fourth one is a new IDs. Students, we used schema stock to introduce state variable stock, and we use another schema to introduce two state variables, orders and order status. So it is an optional way to introduce uh, system state variables, and you can directly write your state variables in a system state schema, and there is no need to write different schemas to introduce state variables. However, we have four system state variables which are declared in the upper part of the system state schema, and there are two invariant properties for the system order in stock. The first property that the order ID of orders and order status should be the same, and whatever ID we have used to make orders and new IDs, uh, there should be no order ID would be common in that. Similarly, we can define the initial values of system state variables. Stock is a bag, so the initial value would be empty, and similarly the initial value of state variable orders is again empty, and initial value of order ID is the previous order ID, yeah, or we have defined basic type order ID. So new IDs would come from the set order ID. Students, now we are ready to specify our first operation schema, and our first operation is a new order. So this operation basically add new order in a system. Therefore, this operation would change the state of a system. Therefore, delta decoration will be introduced before the name of the system state schema. And order with this symbol of question mark is a input order, and its type is a order. And you know that order is a extended type, which is a basically bag of products. And whenever we have an order as input, an id will be assigned as an output. Therefore id with this symbol is an output variable of type order id, and this id, these are basically the unprimed predicates are preconditions for operation new order, and primed predicates are basically post conditions for the operation. So the only precondition is that the id you are going to assign must belong to new ids, set of new ids, and there would be no change in stock state variable. Therefore stock prime is equal to stock, and you have uh, a new order. Therefore the state variable orders would be changed, and you have to add this order in set of orders. And you know that orders is a partial function, therefore you will add this order pair in your variable by using the union operator. Every partial function is also a set, therefore union operator will be used to add the new order in the form of order pair. And order status would be pending. Whenever you have a new order, its status would be pending. Therefore this order pair is also added in state variable order status by using union operator. Students, it is mentioned that whenever a new order is added into a system, its status would be pending. So in order to change the status of the order from pending to invoiced, we have an operation schema invoice order, and the id whose status is going to be changed would be taken as an input id, and there are two preconditions to invoice the order from the status pending. The first precondition says that the ids whose status is going to be changed must be in stock, and its status must be pending. And there are three post conditions for the operation invoice order. The first post condition basically would change the value of state variable stock, that the id whose status is going to change would be subtracted from the stock, and the order status would be changed from pending to id. In that way we will use uh, overriding operator to change the status of the order id from pending to invoiced. Students, orders are identified through their ids. Therefore any operation about order has id as its input variable. Now we have an operation schema cancel order, which is used to cancel an order, and id is its input variable. And for the system state variable, because system state variable order status is a partial function, therefore passing id as a parameter, it would return its status. So if for the input ID, the order status is pending, then we can cancel the order. Therefore, the first predicate is a precondition for cancelling the order. And all three primed predicates are post condition for the operation cancel order. The first predicate describes that there would be no change in stock system state variable, and for the variable orders we would subtract the input order with id input variable, and for the state variable order status, the order status with id would be subtracted. Now we have another operation enter stock. This operation is used to enter the stock in a system, and this operation also change the state of the system. Therefore delta decoration would appear in the schema, and we have a input variable new stock of type bag of products. So this is a basically input variable, and there is no precondition to enter the stock in a system. And all three primed predicates would be the post condition, and the state variable stock will be changed by taking the uh, bag union operator with the stock variable to the new stock variable, and rest of the state variable would be unchanged. Now we specify schemas to model the response of the system in case of error scenarios. In order to model the response of the system, we need to define free type with the name of report, and free type definition has four values which is listed against the free type. And the first error scenario is a invoice error, and we specify with the operation invoice error. Because error scenario would not change the system state, therefore size decoration is appearing in the schema in front of the name of the system state schema, and we have id as an input variable, and response with the decoration is an output variable of type pre-type. And if input id status is not pending, then the response would be order not pending. There is another error scenario with the name of stock error, and we specify this error scenario with the schema stock error, and again we are taking id as input variable for the order, and response as an output variable of type report, which is a free type, and passing the id input id in state variable orders as a parameter, it would return a bag of products for the order against that id. If the bag of products for that order is not sub bag for the stock, then there would be a stock error, which actually describes that stock is not sufficient for that order. Then the system response would be not enough stock. Students, in this lecture, we discussed a case study with the name orders in stock, and this case study is specified using four different type of state variables, and this case study use partial functions, bags, and sets as system state variables, and we specified system state schema as well as different operations and error scenarios for the said case study using that specification. Students, the case study discussed in this lecture is taken from the book Software Specification Methods published by ISTE Limited. Therefore, you must consult chapter number 1 of the book, and you must read section number 5.3 of the book Software Development with Z, which is our course book. And that's all for today's lecture. Allah Hafiz.